You're watching Peace Country Presents on CJDC TV.
Good evening, I'm Emily Moyes, and you are watching Peace Country Presents Lifestyles and Entertainment. Now that we have this gorgeous weather outside, we're seeing a lot more people cycling to and from work. I haven't done that in, well, ever, and I'd like to start this year. So I went and dusted off my mom's old bike at home. It hasn't been ridden in about 15 years. It's an 80s Norco. So of course, the one and only place I'm taking it to is Ferris Fast Cycles, just to see what needs to be maintained and tuned up in order to get this bike out on the road. So we're gonna go head down to Ferris Fast Cycles right now and see what you need to do to maintain your bicycle.
Well, usually check the condition of the tires, see if the wheels are in good condition. Usually the wheels are the most expensive thing to kind of replace. So if the wheels are in good condition and, you know, tires are fairly easy to put on, everything else can kind of move things around, adjust them a bit, and make it rideable.
My 80s Norco has been sitting in a garage for several years, and with just a little tweaking all around, Jolea says this bike should be in great condition.
Well, in this particular case, I would definitely, you know, check the bottom bracket, like tighten things up on this. Okay. This one's in pretty good condition. The tires don't look too bad. Put some air in it, put a little lube on the chain, you know, check the cables. Sometimes, like, cables are definitely important. They get cracked with age. So, you know, this is actually, from some bikes that I see come in, this is actually in really good conditions.
Now, one of the things she notices is the fact that it has been kept in a dry place when not in use.
Bikes that have been kept out in the rain, you can definitely tell the chain is completely rusted up, and, you know, then that's just really hard to try and loosen that up. You usually need a new chain, things aren't working as smoothly, so yeah, definitely keeping your bike in the garage. Well, I'll pop out the tires, double check, see if they hold air. If not, I'll replace the tires. Then I'll go through the shifting and see if the cables are still good, and check the brakes, make sure the cables are working okay. Then you do some fine adjustments, and then, you know, double check the headset and the bottom bracket and the cranks, tighten those up, and then take it for a test ride, because sometimes it'll work fine in the stand, but when you take it out on the ride, you're just like, the shifting, it's clicking, going all over the place. So, you know, some fine adjustment after that.
And seeing as this was just a recreational bike of my mom's, she is impressed with the condition that it is still in.
It really depends on, first of all, how much you invest into the bike. Some bikes are meant to be used for the summer, and, you know, they kind of fall apart. And certainly taking care of your bike, the more you know, put a little oil in the chain, pump up the tires and stuff. Some bikes, you know, they can go 20 years, like, and people like ride them a lot, and, you know, you might replace, you know, the drivetrain every once in a while, but you can keep on riding bikes for, you know, a lifetime. So.
And just how often does one need to maintain their bicycle?
I usually recommend once a year, because depending on how much you ride your bike, it's good to check the chain wear, because you can replace the chain without replacing all the sprockets on it, and make it last a little bit longer. Definitely, usually the cables need to be changed every year. You can kind of get away with that.
Luckily, mine just needed a little tweaking, because when you start replacing parts, that is where the price can drastically increase.
So a typical cost on a bike for a check over here, to go through the shifting, the brakes, check the wheels, make sure everything's tightened up, like really a do-over is $100. And that's really competitive. If you look at the city, they'll do something comparable to that. And then it goes from there. So if you're getting ready for the race, you might want to, yeah, get a new chain on there, get some new tires, and that varies. Like parts vary from, you know, the recreational, so it's a little bit more cost effective, and it just gets you out on the road. Whereas, like, if you want to go racing, then you'll get tires with, you know, especially made.
Now, Jolea's training under Pat Ferris has made her an exceptional mechanic, and working with, well, more vintage, shall we say, pieces, she finds it quite rewarding.
What I like is actually like older bikes just like this that, you know, needs some TLC to get it up and running. Like, that's always makes me happy, being able to take something that people are not really sure if it's gonna ride or not, and like being able to make it run, you know, very reliably on the road. So.
And as her boss points out, she is a great mechanic, but also she is a standout cyclist.
Jolea's past exploits, she's also been won medals at the BC Summer Games for cycling as well too. But this is where we had we did quite a bit of cyclocross that couple of years. So she's been nationals and had points on the UCI points list, which is quite a huge thing.
I mostly do it for fun. I've done some competitions in the past, some cyclocross, doing some provincials and all that. So it's, I've done a full range of biking. It's good just going on a Sunday ride. You know, I've been down in Vancouver riding with my sister. That's always fun. And
especially in the summer when it's not raining.
Yeah, when it's not raining. Yeah, it was luckily it was a sunny day.
And while I couldn't leave the store without checking out the latest hot item, they are always very cutting edge in here. Kendra Young gives me a little education about time trial bikes.
Well, these are bikes they're used for time trials, so they're all about getting into aerodynamic positioning, full carbon bike, disc reel. So everything about these bikes is all about getting you as fast as you can possibly be and just improving your time, and everything from like the positioning of the bike itself to the positioning of you on the bike. Time trial bars, again, like getting you down into position, most aerodynamic that you can. Lots of different alterations can happen to them as well. Like some people do things with like water bottles here so they don't have to move to drink. Yeah, I've ridden these. They're interesting. The first time you do it, it's kind of a leap of faith. Like you're giving a lot of control over. So you're down in this position here on the bike, whereas like you're used to kind of being up in this position as well, which you can do obviously. Like you can move around, but a streamlined position is like this. So it does take that kind of leap of faith the first time, but then after that it becomes very comfortable and almost second nature.
And although Jolea is heading to nursing school this fall, Ferris Fast Cycles will always be like a second home.
Well, it's definitely kind of a passion of mine. Like, I do enjoy biking, so being able to fix my own bike and knowing how it works as well as being able to ride it, that's definitely part of it that keeps me coming back to the shop. So.
Now that my bike is back on the road, I wanted to add a little wicker basket. If you go into Ferris Fast Cycles, they have tons of catalogs where they can order in really neat accessories and add them to your bike as well. And don't go anywhere, because when we come back from the break, I will show you my latest DIY segment.
Peace Country Presents. We'll be right back.